This ILA Achievement Award is in gratitude for James's tremendous work in advancing the field of leadership. Much of the work that Jim has done, and all of you have read in his books and his articles, and in recognition of that, we are going to present to him a pewter plate that recognizes all of the work that he has done. But there is something much more special that Jim has given to us, and that is through his teachings and his conversations, because that is the gift of the legacy that Jim has given to all of us. And so, to honor that, we also will present to Jim the testimonials from all of you, talking about what he has meant to all of you. In recognition of all of the work that Jim has done, we present to you this wonderful, this plaque. Where are we?
Oh, thank you. Lovely.
Okay. And as a testimonial, we will also give you all of these cards that you can read on the plane home. Okay? And at this time, in addition, Jim will have another portrait in the Academy as a part of the Legacy Project. So on this 14th day of November 2008, as the president of the International Leadership Association, and on behalf of all of the individuals here, I formally induct you into the ILA Leadership Legacy Program.
Thank you so much for coming. It means a great deal to me. I've lived in this leadership community for so many decades, and to have you come here this morning is just very specially great for me. Thank you so much. I was not quite sure as to what I should do this morning, partly because of a little communication failure. I live in a 1750s barn on a dirt road on the side of a mountain. And my barn does not like to receive messages. Email, no email, nothing. None of the things you use am I permitted to have by my barn. So as a result of this little mix-up, I was not, or I should say because I was not available, I was not sure as to whether I should speak at all or for a few minutes, or maybe they would ask me to give my famous 50-minute speech that I pull out. It's very boring, but it's 50 minutes. So I came here and discovered they had outsmarted me 5 minutes. Okay, I'm going to use my 5 minutes to talk politics, to talk leadership, to talk about somebody we're all thinking about, Obama. I'm sure there are some very good Republicans here. I hope there are. It would be very sad if there were not. But as we meet, as we talk, we're talking about Obama. And I think we should be very careful about being quite so overwhelmingly for him, even though it's terribly tempting. Every time I talk with people, when I read back to his books and so on, I just say to myself, again, this is an extraordinary person. But my message this morning is, he's not just an extraordinary person, he's President of the United States, and before long, he will be having in fact is already having, a wonderful time in the sun, but looking ahead 6 months or so, he's going to suffer the usual impact of trying to deal with the American political system. To boil it down to one sentence, he is very much a 21st century man dealing with a 18th century American system. And he is bound to meet obstacle after obstacle. Just for example, the difference between congressmen, congressional and senatorial candidates running on his coattails in this election, and what will happen in the so-called off-year election 2 years from now. It's something, incidentally, that we don't seem to think much about. This crazy Constitution we have, if I might say so, a 2-year tenure for members of Congress? 2 years? That's something right out of the 17th century. So that people no sooner get here and start doing a little legislating than they're already beginning to run for Congress for the next time and trying to raise money and so on. My definition of leadership is leaders mobilize followers who in turn mobilize the leaders. But it's the followers who are so important. We talk so much about leaders. We do talk about followers, but I think not nearly enough. And what I'm concerned about is whether Obama can retain this fantastic support he's received in this election. We all know about it. Some of you have taken part in it. An amazing number of you that I talked to have taken part in some kind of political activity for Obama. But the problem is retaining that support. It's one thing to support a candidate like him. It's so easy to do it. And then forget all the nitty-gritty that lies ahead for him and for us. And what I'm concerned about is, again, obviously, the next election, where, again, as part of our Constitution, we will have candidates not running on Obama's coattails or his running on their coattails. We'll have people running on their own, looking for their own support in this very multivariate country that we have. And so my question to you and to Obama is, to what extent will the incredible personal support and organized support that he mobilized and that you were part of, how will that be transferred to those who will be running in those elections and perhaps in future congressional elections, assuming that he's reelected, as I already assume he may well be? We know that he had a marvelous electronic connection with the public, which is still available. But that's not enough. What is enough, what is necessary, is the kind of thing that so many of you have done, to get out there and actually work for him, and for the candidates that we hope will support him in the years ahead. So what I hope will happen is that he will find some way to organize and continue the organizing of the people who supported him, and to mobilize them for other candidates, because if there's one thing, one kind of leadership that I believe in, it's collective leadership, not one-man leadership, collective leadership. And it's because so many of us, I think, have worked in this field and know the importance of this kind of leadership. I want to thank you again for this wonderful time this morning, which I'll always remember, to hope that you'll be out there if you were working for him, or if you're Republicans, you're out there working for the Republican candidate, remembering that in the end, it will not be electronic things and the like that does it. It will be the human touch. It will be human beings out there to try to get this country back to where it should be. Thank you so much for being here.